This is Broad Street, guys. This is Broad Street in Georgetown, Guyana. We're at the western end of Broad Street. Came to take a look at this building. Apparently, there's a new police station that's being built at this end of Broad Street as it meets the East Bank Road. This is Tuesday morning traffic, Tuesday in Georgetown, Guyana. So this building, right, this building is being constructed at this corner, Broad Street, and this, what is Water Street, coming off the East Bank Road, High Street and Broad Street to this corner. I think this is a new police station being built over here, which is, I suppose, something to be investigated, because I don't think there are any new police stations, many new police stations in Georgetown. Right, but this is High Street, coming off of High Street and heading up the East Bank at this intersection. And over at the end of Broad Street as the Parkan and Water Street, right? So that's the shipping companies. That is, those companies are located right on the riverbank. You can see there's a ship docked. That's the ship's tower. You can see over the buildings, and it's probably unloading, offloading barrels and containers being shipped from North America and other places. Right, that's Hamid's Hardware, another Hamid's Hardware. They're actually on Regent Street, but out here also on High Street. But this is Broad Street, and this building is a new police station. Just want to take a look at what's happening here on Broad Street in 2023. Now, this building is now Chinese owned. What is Yonga Hardware Store? A lot of the hardware stores now are owned by Chinese merchants in Guyana. And this is one of them. This one says Linko, and they're selling electrical and lighting products. But this is Zongya, a hardware store at the corner of Broad Street and High Street. Now, this is some of what was here before. This is a wood company that sells, well, in this case, steel, right? This is construction material, rebar and steel pipes and so on. So this is Dalip Trading. So they're selling steel construction material here on Broad Street. This is not an industrial zone, but it's a typical or street that's been known for a long time to be associated with the construction industry, home care industry, and so on. So this is a new store, Brandy's Home Furnishing. Right, Brandy's Home Furnishing is a new store that sells household goods here on Broad Street. And I think a few years ago, 5 years ago, when this was being constructed, I promised to come back and take a look at what they eventually became. But they became a home furnishing store. Right, this is Brandy's Home Furnishing Stores, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 floors of home goods, furniture and the like. So that's looking back at Broad Street. Alright, Broad Street is one of these industrial streets. I don't know if it was zoned for industry, but in fact it's turned out to be that way. This is King's. This used to be a liquor store. I don't know if it still is, but one of the major liquor stores in Guyana. So that's the new Brandy's Home Furnishing Store. So what I also wanted to point out is more of the Chinese investment in hardware and home goods. This is Lotus Hardware, So this is a new hardware store that was built in the last 3 years or so. Right, it's a major hardware store competing with the likes of Gafoor, which is Guyana's leading hardware store. They have a lot of chains, a lot of outlets in many of the growing communities. So somebody from South Africa wanted to know if they could come down here with their hardware chain. And I said, yes, you can if you're willing to compete with the Chinese. So this is another Chinese a merchant, and they're selling what appears to be steel hardware for construction, for building construction, steel pipes, rebar, and all the steel stuff, just like the Dalip trading at the other end, which we just came from. So this one is called Lotus Hardware Store, and this is a recent addition to the neighborhood here in Broad Street. So Broad Street has become modernized in the sense that some of the merchants, original merchants, have moved on but are now being replaced by Chinese. This is Broadway Hotel, Restaurant and Bar out here at the corner of Broad Street and Smythe Street. Right, Smythe Street, that's Dolphins, I believe. Dolphins Secondary School on the other side of Smythe Street. So this is Children Protection Agency on this corner. But it said this is Charles Street in Charlestown. It becomes Smythe Street, I believe, on the other side. And that is Broadway or Broad Street in Charlestown. This is Lotus Hardware. This is a new Chinese merchant hardware store here at the corner of it's not you, I'm not talking to you. This is the Lotus Hardware store at the corner of Charles Street and Broad Street. That's Tuesday morning traffic. That's Dolphins Secondary School, and this is the Child Protection Agency opposite the school, the other side. But this is how Broad Street is changing, guys, in 2023. As you can see, the street is still a industrial, well, not industrial, but commercial street. So it still has a lot of commercial traffic and a lot of commercial stores in the hardware and construction sector and home goods sector of the economy, as it has always been. You know, Broad Street was always that shopping street. There's still this Dolphin Secondary School. Onward, upward, may we ever go. That is here again, another construction hardware supplier. All right, this one, BRIV Hardware, BRINV Hardware. Right, that's a cement supplier and construction material supplier. This is Naked Hangers. This is new. So this is a new clothing store here at the corner of, what is it? Broad Street and Ling. Broad Street and Ling. So this is Broad Street in 2023, guys. That's the Dolphins Secondary School. It's about, I guess, 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's kind of early. Broad Street and Ling Street. So this is what it looks like in 2023. It is still a commercial street, and at the eastern end, which is the direction in which we're heading, it is much more of residential neighborhood, so that, you know, a lot of these homes are still residences. That's looking back where we came from, Broad Street, a commercial street here in Georgetown. It's a short street. This goes as far as what is that, Camp Street, just beyond Camp Street, and the ends at the Larry Pintero Cemetery. So, but this is prime real estate in Georgetown, so a lot of this property is now probably being sought after. People are going to be willing to pay top dollar, lots of money to snap up these properties. Here is an empty lot. I'm pretty sure somebody's inquiring about it, but people are going to be snapping up these places within the next year or so, next 2 years, because that is how rapidly the economy is growing and how high the demand is for property, especially commercial property, or property that can be used for commerce in the center of this population, that is Georgetown. Right, so there are going to be hotels and restaurants looking to take up, residents in this neighborhood. But this is Broad Street in 2023. This is the eastern end of Broad Street going towards the cemetery, and this is the section of the street that is almost entirely completely residential. That's Broad Street in 2023. If you lived here before, you want to comment below how this section of the city has changed. You can see some new houses going up here. Right, so the section of the city has changed, and a lot more newer residences being built. This one is quite new, still under construction, as is the one next door. And these are some of the much much more original residences in this neck of the woods. Broad Street, an important street in Georgetown, and in 2023, commercial and residential, because it is such a prime location, right? Such prime location for both residents and business here in the city of Georgetown, Guyana. So that's what's happening here, guys, in this neck of the woods. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe in the comments below. Tell me what you think about Broad Street, the changes happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, in the fastest growing country in the world. That's Broad Street looking back where we came from. Later! And that's the Larry Pintero Cemetery, which is now a forest. A forest in the city center.